The pandemic has been rough for a lot of people, and when stress is high, many people turn to food.
One study done in February found 42% of adults said they gained some weight they didn't want. With the holidays approaching, some are looking to get a handle on their habits before one of the biggest times of the year when it comes to food.
So morning anchor and health reporter Kirsten O'Connor is standing by now to ask a doctor on how we can make some changes now.
Ask a Doctor is sponsored by Conviva Primary Care for Seniors.
Well, it's no surprise that the pandemic led many of us to stay at home for an extended period of time. That means more ability to mindlessly snack and less activity, all of which can lead to weight gain. Add in some stress on top of that, and it's no wonder it's been a little bit of a problem. The good news, though, is there are small things we can all do that can make a big difference in our overall health. So Orlando Health registered dietitian Sarah Ream joins us now. Sarah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I think it's so important to just bring up the fact that so many people have been dealing with this so that anyone listening right now can feel heard. And it's not just one person, it's not just you, you're not alone. So why did this, why is such a general question, but how did the pandemic affect the way that we eat?
Sure. So it's no secret that the last almost 2 years have been really stressful times for a lot of us. So we find people trying to come up with different ways to cope with that stress, and some of those habits are healthier than others. So we're seeing definitely an increase in stress eating and idle snacking, for sure.
I mean, just everyone's relationship with food is so difficult. I know a lot of people have also talked about the incidences of bulimia and anorexia going up during this time. It's just a really difficult time for people and how they're consuming their food. So let's just bring that up. But I think it's also important to talk about the simple changes that we can make to really make a big difference.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I would recommend is trying to identify those feelings that we're using food to cope with. That's the first step in really being more conscious of the decisions that we're making. And it also gives us a good opportunity to try to identify the triggers of those feelings and avoid those if we can. As far as the actual snacking goes, there's 3 recommendations that I would make that are just kind of small changes that we can implement going into a more food prominent time of the year. So the first one would be to try to snack on fruits and vegetables. And that's easier said than done for some of us. I know for me personally, the big barrier for that is just the convenience factor of it.
Sure.
When I'm stressed out, I'm looking to open a package and be able to eat. So what I would suggest is trying to do a little bit of meal prepping with the fruits and vegetables, maybe 1 day a week, wash and cut up your fruits and vegetables so that way they're as easily accessible as the other snacks that you have in your house. The second way that I would recommend adjusting our snacking is going to be to choose reduced sodium or unsalted options. A lot of brands have an unsalted version of your favorite snack. So the recommendation for Americans is to consume less than about 2,000 milligrams of sodium every day. And you can see exactly how much sodium is in a food by looking at that label on the back of the box. And the third and final way that I would recommend adjusting our snacking is to choose whole grain options. Again, similar to the sodium, a lot of brands have a whole grain option of their snacks. Whole grains are really important for us to consume because they're higher in fiber, so it helps promote digestive health. And the way we can determine if a whole grain is in a food is, again, by checking that food label. The ingredients at the bottom of the label are going to be listed in prevalence. So when we're looking for whole grain foods, we're looking to see things like whole wheat or whole grain right in those first few ingredients.
I love that you mentioned labels because that was another tip that I got years ago. If you don't recognize some of those ingredients, maybe just put it back.
Absolutely. It makes a big difference. And I like to tell my patients, all the information is right there. We just have to check it.
And what else do you think is important for people to think about as we're going into the holidays? Because it's hard to tell people don't eat your favorite foods when you only get them 1 time a year.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So I would recommend just making some small changes here and there that can be healthier for us in the long term. It's difficult to ask somebody to make a drastic change to their diet when it might compromise their Thanksgiving or Christmas meal.
So maybe just think about the other
Just
days.
a few little things. Yeah.
The other days of the
Right.
week.
Think about some other days and some other ways that you can make some small, sustainable changes.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah. It was
Of
great to
course.
talk with you.
Thank you so much.